Alright, practice. Now, a lot of you guys talk about learning new things and trying to improvise, but you don't really practice. Now, I understand that what you're doing on the saxophone or whatever instrument that you have or whatever vocal lessons that you're doing, it's wonderful for you to do, but are you actually practicing? Now, a lot of people come up to me and ask me how I do the things that I do. A lot of the stuff that I do or come up with is through practice. And it's not just, you know, doing exactly what's in the book all the time. As a matter of fact, I hate doing things out of the book. I know that's kind of a downer for you to hear, but I don't really like doing things out of a music book. I believe that the best artists have learned what they've learned from actually listening to other artists. Okay, and it's not just about you know, looking in the book and saying, oh, well, this is the Dorian minor, or this is the seventh of the, you know, scale, and I need to know how to play the fifth, the third, and the first in a certain way. Or, yeah, I mean, the theory is really important, you know, and the book is really important. But a lot of times people look at the book and look at it too hard and put too much weight on the book. A lot of times when you're reading a book, any book, it's really geared toward the artist or the author. The author will have you believing and thinking in a certain way that, you know, maybe accustomed to what they're doing and not necessarily what you want to do. It's also clean or safe to mention that when you are searching for a book, that you search for a book that it suits your needs. When I was in school, I had the book called Standards of Excellence when I was practicing, and when we would practice straight from that book, and it actually seemed to be the book for me, because when I read it when I was a kid, you know, it was kind of tough, you know, we learned it as a group, but then again, I like, you know, how they separated all the vocabulary words, had everything there in layman's terms for me to learn. But some books limit your learning. I know, I'm not going to mention any names or down any brands of books, but some of these books are just garbage, and you shouldn't just buy a book just because it's cheap. Some books actually give you the music that comes with the actual book on a disc. And I don't know how effective they are, because that's happening more and more now. It's not just the book, it's the book and the disc, and you can listen to it as well as play it. And that's good because you can train your ear, and a lot of people don't train their ear enough, you know, in practice. But when you're practicing, make sure that you train your ear and your eye. Make sure you're able to read this stuff as much as you're able to see it on the paper. And make sure you're able to see it on the paper as much as you can hear it and play it, because that makes for a well-rounded musician. Because a lot of times when you're doing jazz, you have to do things called jam sessions, and jam sessions are basically when you just get up on stage or get up wherever you're playing and just play with the group and just be able to play what they're playing. A lot of times these jam sessions are based off these songs called jazz standards, and jazz standards are in the Fate book. They're just a bunch of jazz songs that people are normally accustomed to playing and are in the pretty much the Jazz Hall of Fame for being the, you know, the most popular songs that, you know, we're going to play, which they're the standard jazz songs that you play, you know, like Mercy, 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 and Confirmation from Charlie Parker. You know, whether it be bebop swing, whether it be rock or mid jazz or whatever those little annotations they put on the side of the music to tell you what type of song it is. Yeah, guys, but make sure that you are practicing, you know, not only what's in the book, but, you know, training your ear and training your eye for sight reading. This just makes for a well-rounded musician. Next thing, to piggyback off that, Kirk Whalum came up with an acronym. It's called ASTWO, and it stands for ASTWO. Always something to work on. You know, ASTWO. And I want to also piggyback off that, because A lot of times as musicians, we just kind of just play around and we just do whatever. But if we actually sit down and focus on what we're doing, we'll be a lot more productive. I know a lot of times I sit in my room and play, and I always hate my sound when I'm sitting in my room and playing. So I'm always in this constant state of refining sound, refining sound, refining sound. And a lot of people are like, oh, how do you get that fat jazzy tone? Well, I don't really know, you know, how I got it. I just do what I like to do, and what I like to do is refine sound, because when I'm in my room, I hate how I sound. And then, you know, so when I'm out in public and I'm like, wow, I'm not surprised I sound that way, you know. But then again, I'm still in that mode of refining sound, because I'm never, you're never perfect, especially if you're an artist. You should never feel as though you're perfect at what you're doing. You should always have that mentality that, hey, I need to practice something. I need to be blowing my horn, you know, at some point in time this week, maybe at some point in time every day, you know, depending on how dedicated you are to this stuff. I mean, you don't have to blow it every day, and nobody said you had to do that, but a lot of artists do that because they have this stiff mentality in their mind that, hey, if I don't pick this up and do this, you know, I'm going to get worse, you know, as the days go on. And doing something is way better than doing nothing. You know, ASTWO, always something to work on. Even if you don't work but 30 minutes out of your day trying to perfect the scale, do it, you know, but don't just stay on that one thing. Keep moving and move on, you know, because you know what? It's ASTWO, always something to work on. So, with that being said, what have you been working on today?